Okay, thank you very much indeed to everybody for coming along today. You're all very welcome, and I've been very privileged today to welcome with Minister Griffin to my department representatives from the FAI, representatives from UEFA, representatives from the Bank of Ireland, and we've signed an agreement here today which we hope will guarantee the future of Irish football. It's taken a long time to reach this agreement, but I'd like to thank everybody involved for the extraordinary great effort which they have made to do so. What I think I should say first of all is I hope that today will mark a new milestone, a new dawn for Irish football. There have been very dark days in recent times, which everybody will be aware of, and at some stage I thought that we'd never get to where we are now. And what we have seen, I think, is a very successful dismantling of the old guard and the installation of an inspiring new board, many of whom are beside me here this afternoon. You'll be familiar with Gary Owens, you'll be familiar with Niall Quinn, you'll be familiar with Liz Joyce, and you'll be familiar with Catherine Guy, who are all new independent directors. Once the independent directors came on board, chaired by Roy Barrett, a new atmosphere was created. The confidence of UEFA began to be restored. The trust between the Bank of Ireland and the FAI and ourselves was energised, and we were able to negotiate in a new atmosphere. Having dismantled the old guard successfully, of course we have to set about ourselves on the path of reform. And we've resolved today that we are on the verge of rebuilding Irish football to a healthy situation again. We've new board, we've new executives. The reforms which have already been implemented are welcome, but there are many reforms still to come. The agreement that we made today, which involves all partners, all stakeholders taking pain, that means the bank and UEFA and ourselves taking some pain, will mean that we have agreed to restore government funding to the FAI. The 2.9 million will be doubled. It will go to 5.8 million. That money will go to programmes which we've already been giving money to. It'll be ring-fenced, but it will guarantee that those at the grassroots are catered for, looked after in a way which is absolutely vital, because grassroots football is what we are primarily worried about and concerned about. The funding which we have agreed to provide will not be unconditional. There will be strict conditions attached to it. We've also agreed to an interest-free loan of 2.5 million per year for the next 3 years to the FAI to pay their licence fee, which will involve the running costs of the Aviva. If there was a question of that not being paid or being defaulted upon, grassroots football, international matches and other future fixtures would have been threatened. That is an interest-free loan, but the conditions on it are strict, and if they're not fulfilled, the money, of course, will not be paid. The conditions are, broadly speaking, that there should be strict reform of the Constitution and the Council of the FAI. The corporate governments should be raised to a satisfactory level. That internal controls should be improved to levels which will be decided. That there should also be protection for the workforce. Throughout the discussions which we've had, one of our primary objectives has been to protect and promote the League of Ireland, but also, and that will be given more funding in what we have agreed to today, but also that the workforce should be protected. We've had discussions not only with all the parties involved here, But with the League of Ireland, we've had discussions with the workforce, with representatives of the workforce and the players. And we are absolutely determined that there will be no compulsory redundancy programme, and that the workforce who have served Irish football so well should be catered for and reassured that their jobs are not in jeopardy. I'd like also to say that the earlier redundancy scheme, which was suggested in earlier meetings, is off the table, and the particular emphasis should be put on the low to middle income workforce who should not feel that their jobs are in any way under threat. Our primary objective here is that Irish football should flourish. That is what's most important. And by that I mean that those who have suffered so much uncertainty in recent weeks should be reassured by the agreement which we've signed here today. By that I mean the staff, the players, the clubs, the coaches, the parents, the League of Ireland, the volunteers, and particularly the Women's League, which we are promoting also with the extra money which we're granting. And if we can be sure that we've achieved that, this will be a great day for Irish football. We look forward, after today's signing, to a future for Irish football which was inconceivable 1 year ago. The catalyst which has been provided by the people beside me today, I think, will spur us on to great heights, not just at international level, but particularly at the level which we see on the grounds and on the pitches every weekend. Those are the people who must be supported and must be reassured. Today we've reached what I think is a historic deal, which will reassure them, and Irish football is now in a much healthier place.